everybody. Welcome to our Patreon question and answer for the YouTube Live. Yes, so for everybody joining us, what I'm doing is I am answering questions that are posted on the Patreon group. Now, we'd like personal coaching and advice, and for people to help you find your blocks, that's what our coaching is for. You can definitely check that out. So what we do here is we answer our questions that our group members, they post every single week. So yeah, if you want to join us, I will put, actually the link is in the description of every single video that I post. So yeah, so definitely join us. Hello. Yeah, I know, I'm so excited to be here. Hello, everybody. So yeah, let's get started. We've got the first question. Oh, I need to put the time that we're doing this here. So I also post the time. So if you have posted your question in the group, you can just fast forward to the time so you can find the answer to make it easier for you. So at 1 minute and 20 seconds, I'm going to answer the first question, and that's Shavita's question. I believe that's how you say your name. Let's see here. So, are there manifestations that are harder than others due to general beliefs that would surround them? Yes, absolutely. You create whether a manifestation would be harder than the other. You know, I mean, something I've always found incredibly easy to manifest is relationships. I found that as the easiest things in the world. You know, my money block was for me a bit harder, whereas other people, they've like, oh, I've always had tons of money, but I've got relationship issues. So it's completely up to you. I mean, nothing's harder than the other. We just perceive it as harder than the other. Okay. So, you know, like the belief of being fit and healthy without working out or eating healthy. Okay, so some people seem to be thin and able to eat, untethered to our own realities and our own beliefs. Yeah, we completely, that's what makes up our whole entire reality is our beliefs about, you know, whether it be health and fitness, if you want to lose weight, whether it be about money, if you want to manifest a bunch of money, or relationships, if you're trying to get into a relationship, is you want to dump out all your beliefs about the situation. And when you do, you want to take those and change them into positive intentions and really focus on those new thoughts, those new positive thoughts to start changing around those beliefs, right? And the more you keep continually doing that, you'll get more and more, and eventually you'll get rid of all of them. So like, for instance, with my money block, you know, I really had to go through and dump out all my previous beliefs, everything I heard as a kid, everything I thought I knew to be true, everything I thought I knew to be a belief, and really question it. Like, is that really true? Do I really need to work hard for money? Do I really need to do this? You know, is money really that's hard to come by? Is there really a limited amount? You know, and to really take a look at long and hard at my beliefs and really question them. So yeah, that's how you make breakthroughs in your life. Okay. Excellent question, Shavita. I absolutely love it. So yes, you got to change your beliefs, and your beliefs do create your reality, and everything is just as equally as easy to manifest. It's only our beliefs that make it either difficult or easy for us to believe. But then I want to go one more step into this. You can actually create within your beliefs. Okay. Like, okay, for instance, okay, let's say, okay, manifest $50,000 a month out of nowhere. Okay. Or like win the lottery every single month. That is entirely possible. Now, is it believable to you? It may not be. It may be more believable to you to set up a business and then $50,000 comes through that way. Or it may be more believable to find a rich guy that makes $50,000 a month. So whatever is the path of least resistance to you, you can still create and set up and manifest within your current belief structure, right? So like, for instance, right, let's go what you're talking about, the being fit and healthy without working out and eating healthy. Well, you know, somebody can easily say, well, you know what, I don't believe that I have to, like, I can eat whatever I want and be skinny. I think I need to eat vegetables. So now if they say, well, I think what I need to do is eat vegetables and walk every day, then if they think that that's what's going to work, that's what's going to end up working, right? So anyone can really, you know, they can create within that belief. That's fine. And then they'll still be successful. You don't necessarily have to go, well, you know what, I have to work and work and work at it to make the belief that I can eat whatever I want and be skinny. sometimes it's easier just to work within your current belief system as well. Okay. So there's no right or wrong here. It's all up to you. Like me, I mean, I could easily, intend that I win the lottery every single month, but for me, that's a lot more unlikely than it is to actually set up revenues and investments and, businesses to make the money through. I find that easier. Sure, it could be a limiting belief that I have to have a business to make, lots of money or whatever, but it's not, it's a lot easier for me to believe that and to create that than it is that I'm going to win the lottery or that, money's just going to fall out of the sky every month out of nowhere. Sure, I can create that. I can make money out of nowhere, win the lottery, whatever, and never have to work or have a business. But for me, that's a lot more work than it is just to work within my current belief structure. Okay. So again, there's no right or wrong, good or bad here, right? And so the next question is Piper 1218's question at 6 minutes and 18 seconds. So 6 minutes and 18 seconds, we've got a question. So I'm curious about your thoughts regarding how destiny, fate, karma works with the law of attraction. What is destiny and law of attraction terms? Can they exist in tandem, or does one cancel the other out? Okay, excellent question, Piper. So this, I'm going to be straight up and honest, is my personal opinion. Okay, and I mean, yeah. So my personal opinion is, let's just look up what destiny definition is here. So the definition of destiny is events that will necessarily happen to a particular person or thing in the future. Okay, so basically, a lot of times it says here, there's an example, is she was unable to control her own destiny. Okay, so the hidden power believed to control what would happen in the future, fate. Okay, so destiny is sometimes referred to as fate, is a predetermined course in events. It may be conceived as a predetermined future or in general with an individual. Okay, so my view on this, and this is only my view, and this is the view that works for me and my belief is that I'm in control of my future. Now, quantum physics, science actually backs this theory up. Okay, so we create our reality. Nothing is set in stone. Everything is pliable. So in quantum physics, there's this Planck scale, and it's pure potentiality. Okay, and all of those atoms and neurons and whatever else that are sitting there, particles, are waiting for our thoughts to mold them into what we want to create. Okay, so do I believe that there's my destiny and my fate is predetermined for me to live into? Absolutely not. Do I believe that I can control my destiny? Absolutely. Do I believe that I'm the one that creates my destiny? Definitely. Now, I almost look at it like, look at, if I create an intention to be a millionaire, that's now become my destiny. Can I change my destiny? Absolutely. Okay. So the thing is, right, is if I was to look at, basically destiny being something predetermined to me, now I become a victim of my circumstances, a victim of my reality. What does it matter? I'm determined. This is my fate. I have no choice. I cannot change it. No way. I would not want to live like that. I've changed so many things in my life, and I've changed what I wanted, and I've created so many things with the exact, mentality and belief and the belief system of I could be, do, and have anything I want, and I create that. Okay, so yeah, I personally don't believe that my destiny is predetermined. I do believe that my intentions will create my destiny, my goals, my dreams, those will create my destiny, but it's created by me. Okay, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think things are predetermined. No. So, but again, you know what? Create what beliefs that you want in your reality. However, quantum physics does say that nothing is set in stone. We create our realities with our thoughts, and our thoughts will mold and shift, right? But like, look at it this way. How do you know what your destiny is anyway? Does someone come and tell you that's your destiny? And then even if someone does come and tell you, look, at you're destined to be like a farmer your whole entire life. Okay, but now you still have to accept that as a belief. So you're still creating it anyway, right? Do you know what I mean? So, again, in quantum physics, pure potentiality, they have scientific proof that your thoughts will mold and create your reality the way that you want it, and that it's constantly changeable, and you are constantly changing it and affecting it with every thought that you have. Okay, so completely up to you if you want to create, predestined that you can't change something, or you can create that you create your own destiny and fate, right? So 10 minutes and 30 seconds. We've got XOXO's question. And the question is, hi, Amanda. Hello. Whenever I switch my thoughts to a positive, I still have the feeling inside of missing and not having my specific person around. Okay. So what's your best, and then I find myself overthinking and having negative thoughts. What's your best advice to get through it and to ignore your reality whenever you see something that's not in alignment with what you want? Okay. Oh, so if you're making intentions and you still have a feeling of missing, then you've got to start catching more of your thoughts. There's something else there that's causing that, because your thoughts create your emotions. So you've got to go through your thoughts. You've got to start figuring out which thoughts are in there, creating those feelings within inside you. Okay. So, like I said, guys, this isn't usually just one intention and then things show up. That is true if you don't have any resistance. But if you have resistance, then it's about shifting the entire story and shifting nearly 99% of the story, right? To really unblock it, So the other thing, right, is, how do you ignore your current reality? Well, for example, my ex said he would let me know when he was off so we can hang out, and he never got back to me. Well, when did we give up on the intention that he was going to get back to you? I mean, at what point does he not get back to you? I mean, at some point you created him not getting back to you. Where in your thought process did you give up on him calling you? Where in your thought process did you decide that he wasn't going to call you to hang out? Okay, so because you're creating that with them, he's only reflecting back what your thoughts are. He is you pushed out. So I called Gerry and I'm like, Gerry, hey buddy, give me a call back, okay? And then an hour goes and Gerry hasn't called me back. No, he'll call back. I mean, what? There's been some intentions, and this is probably not going to be the case for you, but some mentions I've stayed on for like a good 3 months. But every time I'm like, nah, it'll show up. And it only took 3 months because it really wasn't a big deal to me. If I want something to happen fast, I'll put more energy to it and I'll make sure the story's clear to you. And when exactly in your thought process did you create that is what you want to pinpoint and you want to get on top of with your mental diet. Okay. So, here's a good question from Selena. At 13 minutes and 16 seconds. Okay, so do tarot cards, astrology, etc., actually predict our future, or is it just me pushed out as well? It's you pushed out. I remember, by the way, guys, I mean, you can use psychics, tarot cards all you want, but I use them for entertainment purposes, right? Like I remember a good friend of mine, she's actually a tarot card reader, and I had her read my tarot cards. And I remember she was like, put your intention into the deck. And I was like, put my intention in. I'm like, oh, cool. You want me to tell you basically what these cards are going to say. I was like, yeah, okay. I intend for my cards to say this, 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 this. Okay, that I was going to have a great relationship, that my business was going to be amazing. And that I was going to have everything I ever dreamed of. My dreams were going to come true, right? Anyway, so I put that intention into the deck and I said, I intend for the cards to tell me that, and I intend for my friend to say it. And then sure enough, right, she drew 3 cards. Like, I don't know what this was about. She drew 3 cards, and each card was basically exactly those 3 things that I had said. She's like, this could mean, and she told me, and I was like, wow. I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, everyone's you pushed out. I'm like, it just worked again. I just intended what these cards would tell me, and then they told me, and then I thought, well, this is neat. And like I got a moment to create intentions in my life and goals, that were positive. And I'm like, now she reflected it back. So now I really believe everyone is you pushed out. And I was like, wow, that's amazing, right? So, I mean, I use it for entertainment. Okay. Nobody's going to be able to tell me in my reality anything that I don't already know because I'm the creator of it. So, I mean, like I said, guys, nothing against, tarot card readers and psychics. In fact, in your reality, your quantum bubble, if you want to be a psychic, you will be a psychic because everybody's you pushed out. Okay. So, I could be a psychic. I tell Andrew what he's thinking all the time because he's me pushed out. Everybody in my reality is me pushed out. I can predict everybody's future in my reality. Now, can anyone predict my future in my reality? No, of course not. Can anyone create intentions for me in my reality? No, only in their reality can they do it. Okay. So that's how this works. So basically, if you were to basically see everybody as in for everyone as you pushed out having their own little quantum bubble. Okay, so this is my bubble. Okay, and you guys are all in my bubble. I can intend whatever I want for you guys. I can predict your futures. I can be a psychic. I can do whatever because you guys are all me pushed out. I create that. Okay, it all goes out this way. Now, can you actually intend for me in my reality? Absolutely not, because it's in my quantum bubble. Now, you have your own quantum bubble somewhere out there in the universe, and you are now the star of your show. You can intend for other people. You can be a psychic, whatever, right? So you see how it works? It's only one way. It is not two ways. It can't be two ways, okay? As soon as it becomes two ways, then it no longer becomes everyone as you pushed out, okay? Because your reality is a projection from your mind out into your reality, okay? Excellent question. Next part of the question is, when I listen to songs, I randomly intend that, yes, this song is perfectly describes the way my SP feels about me. And I listen to it again and again. Will it reprogram my subconscious mind and bring out that shift in my SP? Yes, it will. Do intentions have to include our senses, like what we see, hear, feel, or smell? No, but it helps, especially if you have resistance to create a big picture, a huge story. And like I said, the more energy we put, the faster it'll shift. Like, I mean, I believe, right? If I have one negative thought, I do 3 positive thoughts to block it and to create. Okay. Because, yeah, like the thing is you want more of the energy going to the positive. Okay. So, like, if I say, oh, you know what? Gerry's going to be busy. Then I say, no, Gerry's going to be free. I look at that as just blocking out Gerry's going to be free. Like, Gerry's going to be busy. And then I'll say, well, he's going to be free and he's going to come over tonight because he always wants to see me. I'll add more stuff on there, just to make sure, I mean, why not? If I'm already saying positive things, just throw a lot more on there. Okay. Let's take a look here. So what's our next question? Our next question is from Courtney. Let's take a look. So 18 minutes and 3 seconds. 18 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay, Courtney's question. Can you elaborate more on seeing the best in a specific person? Okay, so do you have any other examples besides saying they are just busy when they don't text back quickly? Lately, I've been seeing the opposite of my intentions. I've been trying to tell myself that it's an echo of past desires, and my desire is still coming. Okay, so Courtney, okay, so we want to change the entire story, and we want to get to a feeling of neutral. So there may be more pieces of the story that aren't being, basically, like caught on here, like you're not getting to. So you want to start digging in to find out what the story is about you, him, and about relationships in general. Okay. And you want to revise any past history. There's a video of revision in this forum as well as on my channel. And there is actually going to be one coming up with Denise in the future in a couple weeks or a week or something. We've just recorded it recently. So basically, right. So yeah, you don't have to say, well, they're just busy. But if you do say that they're busy, you've got to say, no, I intend that they drop everything and text me right now. I mean, I would just go straight to, no, they want to talk to me and they're going to text me right now. I mean, saying that they're busy is better than saying that they don't want to be with you. Okay. But I mean, if you don't want them to be busy, or if you just leave it at them being busy, then you're not going to get the desired result. The name of the game here is to focus on what you want. Okay. So if you want them to drop everything and text you back quickly, then start intending that. Really start putting, the energy into intending what you want. Right. I mean, I'll say, well, I'll look at the clock and be like, oh, it's probably working, it's probably busy, but they're going to call me right on their break because they want to, right? So there may be going on more here, or it could just be the fact that you're creating that they're busy. I mean, I don't know what blocks that you have, but I mean, there's definitely blocks here. It's good that you're telling yourself that, it's just an echo of your past beliefs and your desires still coming, but are you questioning like what other things are going on, right? But as far as, you want to see the best in your specific person, I mean, it's about changing your story about them. I mean, the story is kind of got to be that if you want them to like you, you have to assume that they like you. If you want them to, always drop everything and call you, you have to assume that they always drop everything and call you. But I think a bigger part of it is not resisting your current reality, not being attached to the results. And how you guys do that is by becoming, happy and grateful and thankful for what we have now. Be thankful that anyone's messaged you back at all. And then when you're coming from thankfulness and gratefulness, then intend, yeah, but he always texts me back immediately. Start intending he apologizes, he took a little bit of time texting you back, and he's going to try better. Like, start throwing some other things on there. Okay. We've got Rachel's question here at 21 minutes. I'm not sure this is a question though, so let me see. Well, I'm going to read it. I don't think it's a question though. I think it's a comment. So it says, "Hi Amanda, I watched a video of you and Erica today talking about someone's success story, manifesting a FaceTime video, and it really spoke to me on several points." Oh my goodness, guys, that video was so funny. I love the way that she described her situation. Like, that Starbucks manifestation was absolutely amazing. I'm going to do that in the future. So it spoke to me on several points, not just the success story itself, because I want to manifest that myself, but the fact that she had fun with it. Yeah, exactly. You want to have fun with it. So I've been seeing that more and more in videos lately. So I imagine that this is something I need to incorporate in my manifesting, because manifesting has felt like work lately. In fact, I told myself I need to take a break from my SP because I was just tired of thinking about him, tired of making intentions, tired of assuming, recreating my SP. I just felt frustrated, and I had the thought, I'm not abandoning him. I'm just abandoning the idea that he's more important than I am. Okay, well, I got it. It was a huge breakthrough for me to realize that I was still putting him and the manifestation of him on a pedestal. So with that, I had a bit of a needed reset, but I'm still having trouble seeing manifesting as fun. Maybe it's the perfectionist in me, but if I intend to see a red balloon, I don't see it in a few days. I see it as me not believing hard enough. Okay, so there's the concern, right? How do I get in the mindset that manifesting is easy as breathing? It's something I should practice, not need to work on. Okay, and concentrate on, like Professor Xavier from X-Men. Yes, I'm a huge X-Men and Marvel fan. Oh, you're welcome, Rachel. This is for everybody. How it's done is you consciously manifest throughout your day, and you keep practicing with everything and anything. But, as soon as you don't see a manifestation in 1 day, 2 days, an hour, 5 minutes, you have a choice. I mean, you can never give up on your intentions. You have a choice of saying, no, it's going to come, or you can beat yourself up for not doing something right. And, again, mental diet. You've got to be on top of it. No, I'm going to see it. Because you know what? In that moment, questioning why you didn't see that red balloon, you could have seen it 5 minutes later had you just said, no, you know what? This is going to work. I will see it. I know I have, I know I create, right? So it's about constantly creating everything throughout your day and seeing the correlation between your thoughts and your reality. The more in tune and aware you are of your thoughts, the more you see things show up in your reality. Another good intention for that is I intend to see all of my thoughts and how they manifest it. I love that one. So you start to see the correlation between the two, right? So it's practice, practice, practice. Keep doing, keep intending. You know what? The smallest, silliest things, start, just consciously intending all day long. Start being on top of your thoughts, okay? This is where you get the practice, okay? It's just like, riding a bike, getting good at a job, a hobby, is you keep at it, you keep practicing, you keep learning, right? So yes, definitely need to, basically start seeing manifesting as fun and realizing that there's absolutely no way that you can screw it up. And the only time your manifestations don't happen is when you decide that they're not happening. Okay, because you're the only one that can decide whether it's going to manifest or not. And as soon as you say, oh, it's been 2 days, it's not going to happen, now you've just manifested not seeing the red balloon, which is a manifestation in itself. Okay, so never give up on your intentions. Okay, so let's take a look here. So 25 minutes and 39 seconds. Let's take a look here. So Nicole's question: how can I manifest a text when nothing seems to be working? Well, something's blocking it. Some part of your story is blocking it. Okay, so two things that you can do is you can write down all of your thoughts, okay, about the situation and change them into positive intentions. And, focus on that. I mean, are you giving up too quick on your intentions? Are you questioning? I can't tell you what your blocks are over this video. You can find your blocks by writing out your complaints and changing them into positive intentions. Or, you can actually sign up to coaching. We got coaches. Our coaches will help you find your blocks. You tell them your story, and they'll help you find your blocks within there. But basically, is you want to basically start finding what's blocking you. Maybe just thinking nothing is working is blocking you. Now, one thing is for sure, okay, so if nothing ever manifests for you at all, then there's going to be some meta intentions like this doesn't work, nothing ever manifests for me. That's sort of what you're going to be looking for. But, somehow you're creating it not to manifest. So your thoughts create your reality. So we need to know what your thoughts are to get in there to figure out what thoughts are blocking this text from coming through, to be able to help you to change those thoughts to have that text come through. Okay, so sorry, I can't go in much deeper than that. I need to know what you're thinking. But again, this is the Patreon forum where we do, law of attraction questions, any coaching, finding blocks, any advice on your personal situation. We do need to sit down and have a chat with you. So that would be done through our coaching. Okay. So we're on to Claudia's question at 27 minutes. So 27 minutes for Claudia's question is: hey, Amanda, I've been sticking to my mental diet for a while now, which I am thankful for. I apply this in all areas of my life. I know, right? Exactly. It's really good when you do that. I'd really like to know how to rid myself from anxiety. It seems to only come at a particular time of the month. And I've seen previous videos you have posted on anxiety, but I'm not aiming it towards a particular area. I keep saying I intend to be free of anxiety. I intend to think positive. Is there anything else I would be applied? I'd appreciate your help. Well, again, your thoughts, your feelings are a manifestation of your thoughts. Your anxiety is a manifestation of your thoughts. You change your thoughts, you're going to change your feelings. Okay. So it's about figuring out what thoughts those are. I mean, I've had anxiety in the past, and I've basically have had to get on top of a mental diet and basically fight those thoughts that caused me the feeling of anxiety. Right. So that's how you get rid of anxiety is if you think thoughts that make you feel good, you're going to feel good. If you think thoughts that are worrying about the future, about what people think about you, you're going to get anxiety. You got the choice of what thoughts you're going to think. Okay. So we're on to Danielle's question. Danielle's question at 29 minutes. So 29 minutes, we have the question of: when manifesting someone back into your life, what do you refer to them as? For example, if friends and family ask if you have spoken to your ex or ask you about the situation, how do you keep positive and intending what you want still? Well, the thing is, right, you can always, this is a very difficult question to answer because I'm not sure what your situation is. What is the situation? What do you want the situation to be? I remember, I'll give you an example from my life. I remember when, for instance, I wanted to move in with Andrew. I'd had a few friends that, actually didn't even know Andrew. And they would ask me, like, oh, how's it going with him? I'm like, good. I think we're going to be talking about moving in together soon. Okay. So I said, I intended we were going to be talking about moving in together soon. Now, were we moving in together? Were we talking about moving in together? No, absolutely not. But I said, we are thinking about, I think we're going to be talking about moving in together soon. So right there, what I stated was that that was my plan. And, basically what I was intending for my plan was that we were going to be talking about moving in together soon. So now, does he have anything to do with that? No. Did he? No, he didn't. But that actually manifested him bringing it up. Okay. So, like, for instance, I had an ex-boyfriend once that I wanted to manifest back, and we had broken up. It was a pretty messy breakup. And of course, everybody thought I shouldn't get back together with him. And then they asked me, like, oh, have you heard from Nick? And then I was like, well, this ex, and I was like, well, we're just call him Nick. I said, well, I was thinking maybe, I was thinking about it. I was wondering what he was up to lately. And, maybe that, hopefully I can run into him and talk out what happened, and, I still sort of miss him, So I was putting it out always from my point of view of what I sort of wanted to create, not outright saying, oh yeah, no, Andrew totally is talking about moving back in with me, because he wasn't. But I was like, well, I think it's time to take this to the next step. So for instance, right? And again, this is all up to you. Some people have no problem straight out saying, yeah, we're getting back together, even though that hasn't happened yet. So it's all up to you of what you feel is lying and not lying, right? So, I mean, personally, right, I always take it from my point of view. I'm like, an ex, it's like, yeah, I've been thinking about reaching out and maybe, sorting things out and seeing about getting back together. I was thinking, I'd like to reach out to them and say hi, or I was thinking, and bring it from my point of view, and what I want to see happen, without actually saying, oh yeah, so-and-so said they want to get back together with me when they haven't. So you see, I hope that helps to create, but everyone's situation is different. Okay. So you can act as if and still create. Okay. Because, saying, I think, we're going to start talking about, getting married doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. You're actually creating it anyway to happen. Right. So you don't have to state I intend, or, they want to marry me. You don't have to do that to actually get the ball rolling to make that manifestation happen. Okay. So 32 minutes, 32 minutes and 32 seconds for Patricia's question. And so we've got, hi, Amanda. I hope you're doing well. I am. Thank you. I hope you are too. I have a business related question. I'm starting a business, and as you say, I've dumped all my blocks and switched them over to positive intentions. I've added some nice affirmations to help out, but it's just too much stuff. Can I keep the opposite of my blocks as intentions and work on those, and put everything else on a script that I can read when I need a boost? It's just that I don't want to end up with 20,000 intentions to repeat every day. Oh, okay. So, I mean, yeah, all this dumping out and doing the intentions really is just to sort of prime yourself to get going. Okay. You want to basically create, basically one main statement as your goal. Okay. So, what your goal would be is like, look at whatever your goal is going to be. Let's say my goal is going to be, to marry, I don't know, Gerry. Okay. So every time I think about Gerry, like, I intend to marry Gerry. But then all of a sudden throughout the day, I'm like, oh, maybe Gerry doesn't want to marry me. No, Gerry wants to marry me. So basically all those intentions that you wrote from your blocks, you're going to see that there's a few there that you're going to be able to pick up on that are going to be your main block. Other ones, you're like, oh, that was silly. I can't even believe I thought that. Right. So you want to get them down into, a small enough amount to basically just have like, a few main intentions of what your actual goal is, because the word intention, the definition of it is goal, plan, aim. Okay, so what's your main intention? And then all these little mini intentions that you wrote from that list, they're just there to be easy to go to, right? So you really only need to be on top of your thoughts when you stray off your thoughts. Sure, read that page once in a while. Okay, like that's a good idea. But I mean, really, you want to just make sure that your mental diet is in check throughout the day, and that you're constantly, focusing on what your main intention is whenever you think of the situation. If you need an action plan, again, that's with the coaching. We can help you to, break this down to make it less overwhelming for you. Okay. Um, so we've got Danielle's question at, let's take a look here. It is 35 minutes. So 35 minutes. We have any tips on how to getting your SP to follow you again on social media? I had a story before he wouldn't follow me until he was single. So I've been intending that the third party is out of the picture and he would connect with me on social media. Thank you. I mean, changing your story, and changing the entire story, and creating evidence as such. Okay. So again, how you would get it to change in your reality, it depends on the thoughts that you're having. And, if you want help with creating and shifting that story, in an action plan to do that, then we can help you. But that would be with our coaching. I mean, it should just be enough for to say so and so follows me on social media. Okay, so if that one intention isn't creating the shift in your reality, then you've got some blocks and resistance that need to be dug out and need to be starting to be shifted. Now, have you been doing that? Okay, let's say you have and it's not moving still. Again, there's maybe a question. I don't know what's going on. I can't tell you what your blocks are by, what you write here. Okay, so we can only go with the general questions. So, you want to create all your intentions, focus on them following you on social media. Okay, so paint that picture, focus on it, meditate on it. Pardon me, dwell on it. Okay, and that should shift it. If it doesn't shift it, then there are thoughts that are in there, story that's in there, beliefs that are in there that are blocking it that we need to find, dig them out, and change them over. Okay. 36 minutes. So 36 minutes, we've got the other thing that, sorry, I'll mention here, Danielle, is, there may be past history as well that's coming into play in all of this, it seems like. So, yeah, I would definitely, take a look at dumping out all of your thoughts and your story and your belief and changing those to positive intentions, okay? And again, focus on what you want. So Lily's question at 36 minutes. In one or two of your previous videos, I heard you mention that you can change things in people, such as their religion, sexuality, etc. Can you elaborate on this a bit? What kind of intention should I make for something like this? Well, you see, one is you pushed out, okay? And this is your quantum bubble. Okay. And I remember somebody the other day commented on my YouTube channel. They said, wow, Amanda, all your coaches fit in perfectly with your message and, what you teach. And they all fit in perfectly with that. And, how did you do that? Well, I intended it. I take a list and I create a list of what I want, who I want to show up in my life. And I focus on that. And then I assume that that's what these people are that show up. Okay. So it's about creating and assuming that what you will have is what will show up in your reality. Okay. Now, you've always been doing this your whole entire life. Okay. Just because you didn't specifically, used to assume that somebody didn't have a religion, then you made them to not have a religion. But if you assume they were Catholic, they turned out Catholic. You've always been doing this with your assumptions. There's no way you can never not do it. Okay. Even not having an assumption is creating with an assumption of some sort. Okay. So everyone is you pushed out. So everyone in your reality is a reflection of your assumptions and your beliefs, whether it be general or specific beliefs or assumptions about them. Okay. So for instance, I have an assumption everyone gets up in the morning and goes to work. Well, or most people do. So that's why I'll look at the neighbor's house and I'll think that, well, now they may be working from home. Now that's my assumption, right? So, you want to take a look at all of your assumptions generally and specifically. But yeah, you can change anything about a person. And before anyone comes up with but wait a minute, you're taking away free will. Nobody had free will to begin with in your reality, so you can't take anything away that they didn't already have. And again, guys, this is based in quantum physics. Okay, your reality is projection. Okay, and there's this Planck scale, and you basically change your whole entire reality according to what your thoughts are. Okay, so yeah, you can change anything that you want. So as far as what intentions you should make, it depends on what you want to create, depends on what your story is. Okay, so you would basically stating, I intend so and so Gerry to like me should just be enough. Right. But I mean, if it's not, then there may be some blocks there and some previous story that needs to change. Okay. 40 minutes. Let's take a look here. I've got this 25. I love that username. Again, for everybody just joining us, we are reading questions off of the Patreon group. These are general law of attraction questions. I'm not able to give you any advice personally or coaching. That's for the coaching. Definitely sign up for the coaching if you want help finding your blocks, anything like that. We are actually still having the special for the coaching. And now we have 30-minute sessions, actually, which are really affordable to make, coaching, accessible to everybody, right? So if you want to find out what your blocks are, then sign up for the coaching. And once you find out your blocks, it's going to speed up your manifestation so much quicker, now that you know what you're throwing out there, right? So sometimes somebody just saying, hey, you know what, this is your block is really what you need to make that change, right? So because if we knew what was blocking us, we would have changed it already. Okay, so that's what we're here for. But yeah, these questions are off the Patreon group, and the Patreon group, we answer the general law of attraction questions only. Okay. So, hi, Amanda. I hope you're doing well. I am. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good too. It seems I'm having difficulty with the concept of choosing a version of my desires because all things exist now. That's true. They do all exist now. And we just choose a version that we want, just in different realities. Yeah. So, an example could be I want to choose the version of my specific person that's head over heels in love with me. What would you say my inner dialogue should look like? Is choosing a different version, just repeating intentions in my head when the version of him hasn't appeared in the 3D world. Okay. Could you do a full video on choosing the version you want? Okay. Excellent video idea. I'll write that down, choosing the version you want. So basically recreating somebody. So, I mean, if the person, hold on, choosing. So, yeah, I mean, it's enough to do intentions and to fill your mind with just the thoughts and images and feelings of the person, and that's actually what ends up changing them. You've got to listen to your inner dialogue, right? Now, if you think of it this way, like every thought is an intention, okay, then you really got to listen to your inner dialogue, right? And you got to catch yourself in times where say you text them, they don't text you back, you're like, oh, here we go again. Like, if that's not the version you wanted them, you've got to stop yourself. So you create the version that you want of the person with your mental diet, your inner dialogue, what you say to them about to other people, what you're, you think about them, how you feel about them, because your thoughts create your emotions. So yeah, I'm going to put that on the burner. I'll do an actual video about, recreating and choosing the version of people. But really what it comes down to is mental diet, right? The sum total of your thoughts throughout a day about a person is what creates the version of them. So in one moment, Gerry could be like, look at, I just don't want to see you Friday. Okay, well, if he says he doesn't want to see me Friday, well, what am I choosing? Am I choosing the version of him like, oh, he's rejecting me and he doesn't want to be with me? Well, now I'm choosing that version of him by assuming that that's what his actions mean. But if I decide, oh, he's just busy Friday, I'll see him Saturday because he wants to be with me. Now I'm choosing the version of him that, that will make time for me on Saturday, that wants to be with me. But then if I'm like, no, you know what? Gerry's plans are going to change. He's totally going to see me Friday because he'll like drop everything for me. Now I'm creating the version of him that's head over heels for me. So you create the version that you want of people by the assumptions that you give the meaning for their behavior. Okay. So that's my answer to that. I can create a video on it. I'm not sure when that'll happen, but I wrote it down anyway. It's up there. So, but basically, you create the version you want of the person with your assumption that and the meaning you give their actions, right? So change your meaning of what you give their actions, and you'll change them. So 45 minutes. For Kia's question, I think I said that right. Pardon me. Hi, Amanda. I'm applying everything I learned. I'm doing meditations, mental diet. I also feel I have shifted in many ways. Well, I did obtain some results with my SP. We broke up 2 years ago, and since then we're basically friends. Okay. So I'm not sure what your question is here. So yeah, I'm not sure what your question. You're looking for advice and suggestions to change your situation for what you want. So, I mean, the big thing here is focus on what you want. Since I started my LOA journey, we don't even spend time together anymore. So the only thing is that he initiates communications. Any suggestions? Well, my suggestion is focus on what you want. Change your story from what you're seeing in your reality to what you actually want. That would be my suggestion, as well as maybe sit down with one of my coaches and they can help you to find your blocks, because something is basically keeping you're creating your thoughts create your reality. Every thought that you have is reflected back to you in your reality. So if your reality isn't showing up what you want, then we need to start changing the thoughts that we're having. Okay. Now, what thoughts do you need to change? I don't know. We need to sit down and have a conversation with you to figure that out. Okay. But my suggestion is focus on what you want. Start finding those blocks, start changing them, start changing the story about the person. Okay. Kim's question. Yes. So at 46 minutes. So Kim's question is, any tips on how to stop resisting and being attached to your SP specific person, not doing what you like? Okay. So the thing is, right, is you want to okay, so being attached to something is you have an emotional attachment. You need something to feel better. You're not happy in your current situation. Life sucks. I need this. I need this to be happy. Okay, so if you're emotionally attached to something, then you're resisting your current reality and things are not going to change. How do you detach from your current reality? One way is by doing intentions. Another way is being thankful for what you have right now, being happy and grateful for what you have in your reality currently, and then making intentions to make a change. Oh, yeah, my life is great. I absolutely love this, but I would like that too. Okay. So, there is it looks like here, that you do need to change the story to him treating you the way that you want. Okay, so now there are some things here that there's obviously some story, some past history, that you need to change the story about him. So how do you change the story about him? Is you start changing your perception and revising your past history with him, and that'll help to change your story. If you would like help with that, our coaches can help you in a coaching setting, because you got to go through the mass majority of the events that are creating you to think that he is the way that he is. Okay, but you've got to start being happy and thankful and grateful for your current reality. That's how we basically detach from something. Is we're like, my life's great right now. I love my life, because everything in your life right now, whether you like it or not, has been a manifestation of your thoughts. Okay. So the more you say, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it, and resist it, the more you get of it. It just keeps coming. Right. So you got to be like, I love my life. I'm so thankful for everything I have. Everything I have, I created. Guess what? I could change it. Right. So there's some work that needs to be done here with shifting the story. So yeah, I mean, intentions will change the story. I'm just not sure what the block is with changing the story. So, like I said, our coaches can help you with that. Okay. So 49 minutes. We've got this question from um, Alicia. I hope I said it right. Hi, Amanda. Hello. I was wondering if you can put a specific time frame on manifestations, or should you keep it general? For instance, I want my specific person to propose to me. I've been working on rejecting negative thoughts and manifesting huge improvements in our relationship. Excellent. Can I manifest a proposal in 6 months while still working on removing the blocks in the meantime? Or is it best to keep the proposal general until I have no resistance? Well, I mean, you do both. Do both. I mean, I wouldn't be attached to the time frame. I mean, it could happen now, it can happen tomorrow, it can happen later. I wouldn't be attached. You can create a time frame. I do specific and general intentions. I would throw everything on it. Seriously, throw everything on it. You can create on a deadline. I do it all the time. But I mean, sometimes the deadline comes and goes and it doesn't happen. but I just keep intending. I'm like, no problem, it'll happen, So the deadline is my advice is don't be discouraged if the timeline comes and goes and it hasn't happened. Just keep persisting, just keep creating your reality. It'll happen when all blocks are gone, and sure, I mean, the important thing is not to discourage yourself. But yeah, I mean, you just say, look at, I'm removing my blocks now, right? So yeah, so that's what I would focus on, is putting general and specific on here. Okay. Let's take a look here. So the next question at 50 minutes is SK's question. So 50 minutes. What's the question? Thank you so much for your videos and teachings. You're welcome. I loved your recent video with Denise where you talked about the law of assumption. I know that's really good, right? Can you explain more about this? Okay. So like Patricia said in the above post, I also feel like saying I intend is wishing that the universe will grant me something. But if our 3D realities are projections of our subconscious, then there is no universe granting our wishes. No, there is not. And I intend means basically goal, plan, aim. Intending is actually future tense. So just going to throw that out there. You don't even have to use I intend. I mean, intend is just the word intend to be something, putting it out in the future, never getting it. But then again, future tense of the word intend is intending, right? So, but again, your subconscious mind knows no time. Time does not exist as far as your subconscious mind goes. So you can put something in the future. You can put something in the past. It'll still show up in your present. Okay. So, because that's how the subconscious mind works. Instead, we are creating you're creating our wishes ourselves with our thoughts. Yes, that is correct. You are creating your wishes yourself with your thoughts. You think about the past, guess what? You're going to recreate in the future. You think about something you want in the future, guess what? You're going to create it right in the present moment, okay? Does the law of assumption mean that we would have to expect or become what we want in order to see it in our 3D realities? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Like for instance, right? Like let's say it's your birthday, okay, and you want somebody to like, call you, but they haven't called you yet, right? Then, I would assume, oh, they're gonna send me flowers. Like there's a surprise party, or they're gonna call me later. So yeah, the assumption is assuming that the person is already like that and you are going to get what you want. That's what the law of assumption is, right? Intentions are an assumption. For instance, you called Gerry, left a message, you want him to call you back, intending he's going to call you back is assuming he's going to call you back. Same thing, right? What would a mental diet using law of assumption sound like for creating a new friend or SP, someone you've never met or know they existed? Well, would your thoughts be? Basically, if you look at it this way, living from the end is going to be like, okay, so what would your thoughts be to get you to where you were? So you look at it this way. If I was going to tell you the story after we met and got together, what would the story be? Well, those is what your thoughts should be, right? So, I mean, you would want all of your thoughts in line with meeting this person. Okay. So write your story, sit down, write the story, write out the story. What is your thoughts going to be? What does it look like? Basically, all your thoughts write a story in your life. You're writing your life as you go with your thoughts. So how would your mental diet be for meeting, someone that you never met or even know they existed? Well, write the story out like you would with a pen and paper. And that's what you want your mental diet to be. You want all your thoughts to be in line with that. I mean, it's difficult to say specifically what thoughts to have because, again, if you do have like a negative thought, like this is impossible, you're going to have to basically change it to no, this is 100% possible, right? So this is, part of the mental diet and focusing. But like I said, write down the story, think through the story, pretend you're telling somebody else the story, and that was what you want your thoughts to be, right? So assuming it's going to happen, start creating all the different ways that it could possibly happen, right? Because this is your reality. So what the law of assumption is you're basically assuming what you want is going to actually happen with all of your thoughts, right? So basically you've got, a choice. You can either assume that somebody doesn't like you, or you can assume that they do like you. An assumption is something you're making, a belief based on, could be fact, or, well, every fact is circumstantial, but you're basically assuming. You're like, oh, he hasn't called me. I assume he's going to. Oh, they haven't accepted me into the program, but they're going to. That's an assumption. Assumptions you're making, something. So, you've got to start assuming that it can happen, and you can start assuming how it's going to happen. Or, you know what? You can even go with, it doesn't even matter how it's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen, and start assuming that it's going to happen. Right. And just, I assumed that I was going to meet Andrew, but I didn't know it was him. And I wrote down a list of everything that I wanted. And all of a sudden, this guy magically appeared. And I was like, oh, he's the guy. And I assumed that whoever, all the things I wrote on that list was going to show up. I didn't know Andrew existed until he showed up. And then I went, wait a minute, this guy's everything on my list. So you create, same thing when, I don't know, just right now, there's been, we've hired a few coaches, and, a little while ago. So, again, I wrote a list. What do I want in coaches? And then the both bubbled up from the pine scale of pure potentiality, and they showed up. I've created them. You create everybody in your reality, right? So guys, that's awesome. Excellent questions. Oh, we've got one more. Manali's question. Good morning. I hope it's not too late for you. Let's take a look here. So we've got 56 minutes and 45 seconds. So 56:45, and we're going to answer your question. So I wrote my limiting beliefs, cut it out, and wrote new intentions. Is this one time, actively, or repetitive? You repeat it whenever you need to, right? When you're digging out blocks, okay? So not every day, but, anytime, like, a lot of times what'll happen is when I really want to create something and I'm feeling like my thoughts are scattered all over the place and I'm feeling a lot of doom and gloom, I'll do that exercise, okay? And then I'll create, a mantra from those new intentions, right? And I'll read those new intentions, a few times, so I start seeing things shift in my reality, okay? And when I start to see things shift in my reality, it's usually my feelings will shift as well, okay? And things like, I love life. I enjoy my life. I enjoy myself. I'm happy with everything in my life, right? Also, sometimes my specific person says things that hurt me, and I don't know what the block is causing that effect. In such case, can I use a blanket affirmation like my SP loves me and absolutely likes everything about me? Yeah, and he always says nice things about me too. Will that cover no matter what I say and do? He will find it cute? Or is there any way I can find my blocks, which are not dominant ones? Well, I mean, it's your thoughts creating this, right? And then, you know what? Let's go into this a bit further. You know what? Nobody can make you feel anything. You choose to feel things, okay? So if you're disappointed with the situation that you've created to be disappointed, you went in with the intention to be disappointed. If you're hurt from something he said, you're choosing to be hurt. He can't hurt you in any way. Nobody can hurt you. Nobody can hurt your feelings. You have to choose to have your feelings hurt with your thoughts. Now, can anyone reject you? No, of course not. But you choose to feel rejected, and you can choose to feel good or feel good, okay? Nobody can do anything to you. Nobody can make you feel anything. You create how you feel with your thoughts. Now, if you can create people to say mean things to you because everyone's you pushed out, absolutely. So you would intend that they do say nice things to you. You've got to find the thoughts that create the person to act the way that they do, okay? It's so funny. A true story. Okay, I've got an electric fly swatter. Like, I personally don't like bugs, and I'm sorry out there if anybody's like, don't kill bugs, but I've got a theory. If a bug's gonna sting me or bite me, it's gotta go. I'm sorry, it can't be with me. Okay, like that's just, if it can eat me, then it's gotta go. So I got electric fly swatter, right? Now I created Andrew to never hurt a fly. Okay, like that was one big thing, that he was wonderful, and he was so wonderful he would never hurt a fly. Okay, so like the funny thing was, is sure enough, there was a bee in here earlier today, right? And like the guy read my mind. I was like, what is that bee doing? And all of a sudden I thought to myself, where's my electric fly swatter? Because the bee can sting me, right? Anyway, so he was all, before I even said anything, I just said, oh, what's that bee doing in here? He was like, don't even think about it. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I know you were going to get your fly water. I was like, yeah, like, whoa, right? But so, anyways, the thing was, right, as I thought to myself, I'm like, why did he say that? Like, why does he, we've had this talk that anything that can bite me and eat me, it's got to go. Like, it can't live in my place with me, right? But then I thought, you know what? I thought backward to my list and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, that's right. I always say that Andrew is so sweet and gentle, he would never hurt a fly. And sure enough, it's like, don't touch that bug. Like, So, sometimes we got to find the root of it, right? Or, we can even just start creating that, what, he likes everything that I say. The root of it's not going to be something dug deep. It's going to be right in the moment. It could have been, oh, whenever I say this, he's always upset. Like, you've got to be on top of your thoughts throughout the day. Okay. The more we are on top of our thoughts, the more we're going to be able to control what reflects back to us in our reality. Okay, that's the name of the game here, is everything in your reality is a reflection of your thoughts. Okay, so somehow you're creating it somewhere. Okay, so we've got to start getting on top of those thoughts and not entertaining the ones we don't want, and putting way more focus on what we do want to show up in our reality, especially when it comes to other people. Everyone is you pushed out, and people are going to show up exactly the way that you want them to. Maybe what needs to be done here is a little bit of revision with your specific person. Everybody out there, if you've got history with somebody like an ex or breakup or anything like that, then revision is what's going to need to be done. And you can either revise what you're making their actions mean, okay, or you can revise past situations and create them and visualize them the way that you would have wanted them to turn out. Okay, so I've done a video, it's posted on the Patreon as well as my main channel about revision. So, and the thing is, right, is you create though what other people show up to be. But if you are, got past history with somebody and you're trying to change that, then you've got to start revising things. I can, somebody says to me, like, I don't know, I don't even know. Someone says to me, "Oh, well, you know what? I mean, I think you're crazy, law of attraction, right?" Like, I can either take that as rejection, or I can take that as they just don't know quantum physics and, they're scared of something they don't know. Like, it's up to me. And now, if I look at it from the point of view that maybe they're just scared of something they don't know, and it's not that, I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about because it's based in science. Now all of a sudden, that changes the feeling of the whole entire conversation and dynamic with that person. Because if I was to take it as rejection, well, now all of a sudden I'm taking it personally, and and now all of a sudden I'm hurt from choosing to be hurt because I'm choosing to think that that person's comment came from rejection. Right. So, is there any other way, if you're having people that are saying and doing things that you don't like, on top of intending that, they treat you nicely and changing your opinion about them, is there any other way that, you can make their behavior or their comments mean? A lot of the times, when we're younger, right, and we have people that are bullying us or something, our parents say, oh, they're just jealous. Okay. So right there, it's not, your parents don't say, oh, they're bullying you and picking on you because they're rejecting you. No, your parents don't say that to you. Of course not. They make it mean that the other person has their own issues. They're only doing that because they're jealous, because they've got self-esteem issues, right? You know what I mean? So how can you change the perception on your situations, okay, to not make yourself feel hurt for their behavior, but over and above, change the opinion and assumption of them to change their behavior. Amazing, you guys. Awesome. I hope I intend. Um, yeah, I intend that everybody got something out of this. Um, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So thanks for joining me. And those were all the questions today. And yeah, thanks for everybody being here. That's awesome. And yeah, we'll see you guys all in the next video. Stay safe and enjoy your days. Bye bye.